What's up guys?
Nash here,
and I am back with a new video. It's been a long time since I've got to sit in front of the camera and just talk and kind of update you guys on where I was in my life. I don't know if you guys have been following me or not, but if you have been following me, then you'll know that I've been writing a book for about a little over a year now. This has single-handedly been the hardest project that I've ever done in my entire life. With that being said, it has taught me more about myself and about the world and about life in general than anything that I've ever done as well. Yeah, it's been really interesting and it's been a hell of a journey so far, and I'm not done. So I thought it'd be a cool idea just to kind of hear some feedback from you guys. With that being said, I went on Twitter and I asked you guys to ask me questions. It's weird, right? But you guys tweeted me a bunch of book-related questions with the hashtag AskNash, and I'm about to answer them right now. Do you think you'll make a movie sometime in the future revolved around your book, like a documentary? I actually started out with this same project 2 years ago, and I probably pitched it to everyone that I could possibly pitch it to. Producers, directors, production companies, other creators. I went to like 50 different meetings pitching this project of a documentary. As I went on pitching that, I kept developing the plot, and I'd write out bullet points, and I had the intros and the outros and how we were going to shoot. And you know, when you write scenes, you're not writing it like anyone's going to read it, you're writing it like someone's going to see it. So it's literally like little notes and stuff. Eventually, I ended up picking a production company and someone to work on this documentary with, and as we were talking, we were like, this sounds like a lot. This is a lot of stuff that you have to talk about that has been, you know, off camera, years worth of, you know, stories. We would go back and forth and we would toss, oh, this should go here, and chronologically this works best, and this happened before this. And there was a lot of like just thinking and reflecting on life and like its greatest and worst moments. We decided it was not the best idea to just, you know, try to tackle it all at once. And if I could actually get all this stuff out and somewhere on paper, anywhere, then it would be a lot easier to actually put visuals, you know, to it once it's out. So I was doing that, and somewhere in that process, it just kind of dawned on me, this is a book, this isn't a documentary, yet at least. So how do I shape it up to where, you know, you can sit down and read this now instead of like a shooting schedule almost, you know? And that was a crazy big change that I'm still making. The way I had the documentary divided up was the past, present, and future, and each of them was kind of like the first, second, and third act. But all the stuff I had planned to do for the future part of that, you can't really do in books. So like, there was a few boundaries in switching it, but it wasn't too crazy. I do want to add visuals to this one day. Are you going to sell the book internationally or just in the USA? It will be available internationally when it comes out, which is really cool, especially because it's getting translated in a bunch of different languages. We are living in a moment when a lot of famous people are launching books. What makes yours different? Well, it's mine. It's not anyone else's. And in my own voice, I'd say that's probably the biggest separating factor. I don't know, when I write this book, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I don't really have the image that, you know, a bunch of people are going to read it. I'm not writing it for a bunch of people to read. I'm writing it for, you know, you to read it. That's the only real thing that makes me feel better about putting all this stuff out there, is that, you know, one person's going to read it at a time. Everyone is putting out books. And it's cool, because like, you know what, books pop off again. 15 years ago, books were so poppin' compared to now. Magazines, newspapers, books, they don't print as many physical copies as they used to. So how many pages or chapters are there in the book? About like 159 some pages. I don't really have a length that I want to get to. I just want to get it all out in the best way possible. Who was your biggest inspiration to write a book? I'm inspired by it so much on a daily basis. Every little thing that I've gotten to experience that I haven't gotten to share or talk about, that has probably been my biggest motivator or inspiration. Also, if you're wondering what these pieces of paper are, they're tip sheets. I was given 10,000. Apparently that means there is going to be 10,000 signed copies of this book. If I get through them all, I've gotten through 3,000, and that took me like 3 months. Are you talking about God in it? Yes, I talk about religion, I talk about food, I talk about name a topic. If I've thought about it, then it's in this book. But yeah, it's definitely a different tone and dialect than you're probably used to seeing from me. And you guys only get to really see what I've put out there. And the internet itself is not a really good place to make first impressions or to really know someone or meet someone. And even like an Instagram, for example, someone's Instagram page, you go to their page, that's literally, that's who they want you to, like, that's who they want to be. So yeah, it's kind of weird when you only know someone through, you know, what they've chosen you to see. And over the past few years, it's been amazing the connection I've made with you guys and how much it grows, and and the relationships that I've got to make through this camera and through this computer even have just been absolutely insane. But I still think there's a connection with visuals and with writing and gauging someone, you know, away from a screen today that can really offer a lot. Ask Nash, are you going to write anymore? Yes, I've missed like 3 deadlines. Everyone's pissed off at me. But yeah, I'm definitely writing more. I don't know when or how I'm going to stop. There's just something every day that strikes me and makes me like super interested. Like, why is this like this? Why am I watching a debate with these 2 people? All of it is kind of inspiration to write now, even the bad. How was the writing process? When I first switched the project from a documentary to a book, I met with, you know, a few authors. I actually met with an author and just talked about my life on one of these for like literally hours and hours and hours for like a week. And you know, we eventually went back and we put a lot of that into text, but it's not normal to talk in a storyteller's perspective, so. Probably messed up like 200 of those. This right here? I need new pens. What do you think is the key to writing a book? Everyone has the ability to, or the key to write a book. Everyone has the key to film a video, to do anything that you really want. It's honestly, if like another person can do it, you know, you probably can if you set your mind to it. I feel like everyone has something to offer in every field. Like there is, you know, something you can get from every single person. Even if they're a homeless person sitting on the side of the road, they have some knowledge that you probably don't have. We talk about the experiences like tours or relationships. Of course I talk about touring and traveling and meeting people, and just every relationship that I've made honestly has had such an impact on my life. Like there's not one person that's came into my life that hasn't changed it. So yeah, it just runs out of ink. I don't understand. Next question. When is it coming out? Not exactly sure yet. I'll definitely post the release date when I'm finished. What was your favorite subject when you were at school? Favorite teacher was my science teacher. Biology, zoology, chemistry, all that stuff. That just interested me the most. Biology was probably my favorite overall. Is your book going to be expensive? I honestly have no idea. I haven't really gone through any of the marketing stuff yet. I really want everyone to be able to have this book, so it shouldn't be anything too crazy. What is the main topic of your book? I don't know, there's no real main topic or subject of the book, and picking a title has been one of the hardest things ever. I still don't have a title. I have like so many just random thoughts on what it should be. I don't know, I'd say the overall most important topic of this book for me is finding yourself, figuring out who you are, finding your place in the world, finding what makes you passionate, what, you know, keeps you smiling every single day. Because when you find that stuff, you win, you've succeeded, you win at life. And I'm still finding that stuff, but like, people go their entire lives and do not figure out, you know, what makes them the most happy or what makes them passionate. And that sucks. What is your favorite part of the book? Oh wow. Towards the very end, I wrote like 20 or 25 questions for myself to answer, and I spent literally months trying to answer these questions, and I'm still answering them. That's part of the reason the book's not done. But yeah, they're like 20 of the hardest questions. Yeah, there's this really cool thing I'm working with my publisher on, and we're actually opening up some P.O. boxes so that you guys can answer these questions and write them back at the very end of the book after you read it, and send them in to me so I can check them out. There's so much stuff I'm already planning to do with these answers. But yeah, you don't have to like send your name and your address or your social security number or anything like that. You can write it anonymous. I'd say just answering those questions, thinking of those questions, and then, you know, finally getting to give them to someone else. That's probably gonna be my favorite part of this book. Especially after someone reads this, like I'm just gonna want to ask him everything.
Not trying to point any fingers, but I've heard the whispers going around. Not trying to point you out here,